There is a story I often chew on in my mind. It is an ancient fable about a beggar. It says there was a beggar who sat by the side of a dusty road for over 30 years. 30 years is more than 10,000 days and nights. He just sat in the same place watching people come and go. One day, a strange traveler passed by. The beggar mechanically raised his old hat, which had long lost its original color, just as he had done countless times before. He stared blankly ahead and muttered, "Please have mercy, please give a little." The stranger stopped and looked at him. Then he calmly said, "I do not have anything to give you." Hearing this, the beggar lowered his head in disappointment, ready to wait for the next person. But the stranger did not leave. Instead, he pointed beneath the beggar and asked what he was sitting on. The beggar answered somewhat impatiently that it was nothing. It was just a very torn and old box. Ever since he could remember, he had been sitting on this box begging. The stranger stared into his eyes and told him to open the box and look. The beggar thought this person was being ridiculous, but under the firm gaze of the stranger, he half doubtfully and very reluctantly pried open the lid of that dirt-covered box. The moment the lid was lifted, the beggar opened his eyes wide in astonishment. He found that the broken box he had been sitting on for 30 years was actually filled with shining gold. Let us use this story as the starting point for our conversation today. When we hear this story, our first reaction is often that this beggar is too foolish. He was guarding a mountain of gold while begging for food. But if you take a step back and carefully examine the living state of us modern people, you will find something. You will find that the vast majority of us are actually that beggar sitting on a box full of gold while begging. This is Zen Seeker Wu. Today I want to sit down with you and slowly talk about this topic of finding the inner treasure. If you feel the following content can touch your heart and bring you a trace of peace in this noisy world, I hope you can take a few seconds to subscribe to this channel and like this video. This is not just the action of pressing a button. It is more like an intellectual contract we establish in the vast sea of humanity. If you are willing, you are also very welcome to join our channel membership. We can walk together on this path of cultivating the mind. In modern society, we solved the problem of absolute material scarcity long ago. We carry smartphones in our pockets that can connect to global information at any time. We enjoy conveniences that emperors a few hundred years ago could not even imagine. But look around us and look inside our own hearts. That continuous, deep sense of anxiety is stronger than ever before. Many of our middle-aged friends working hard all over the world have spent most of their lives rushing about for family and career. Every day when you open your eyes, there are endless mortgage payments to make. There are the aging bodies of parents that need care. There is the academic pressure of children facing fierce competition. And there are those complex interpersonal issues at work that can never be fully resolved. We are begging from the outside world every single day. We beg for likes on social media to satisfy our vanity. We beg for the approval of our boss at work to confirm our value. We even beg for the attention of our partner in intimate relationships to fill our inner emptiness. When we were young, we felt time passed too slowly every day. We eagerly hoped to grow up quickly. But when we truly grew up, we frantically started to miss that carefree state of childhood. Because the adult world is full of endless troubles. Our brains are like time machines out of control. They either pull us back to the past, making us suffer repeatedly in pain, remorse, and regret, or they throw us into the future, filling us with endless anxiety and fear about things that have not yet happened. And whenever we think about our current situation, we always feel this is not good enough, and that is not perfect either. Are these endless troubles the destiny of life? Is there no exit in this complex modern world to completely dissolve these pains? The answer is yes. And this exit has always been there. The power we have been looking for to escape depression and regain lasting happiness has actually always been within us. This is the power of the present moment. There was a young scholar who once worked as a researcher at Cambridge University. When he was 29 years old, he fell into a long, deep spiritual crisis. His entire being was completely swallowed by anxiety and depression. One late night, he suddenly woke up from a dream again because of that almost suffocating anxiety and restlessness. In that dark room, he felt extreme despair. He said to himself, "I cannot live with myself any longer." Right at this extreme point of emotional collapse, he suddenly caught a logical flaw in this sentence. He asked himself in his heart, "If I feel I cannot live with myself, that means there are two entities inside me. One is the I who is observing and feeling. The other is the myself who is being observed and making me feel unbearable." It was exactly this lightning-like questioning that made his brain, which had been running at high speed for years full of concepts and anxiety, instantly fall completely blank. His thinking stopped. In that blank moment of mental stillness, the original overwhelming pain and anxiety disappeared. It was replaced by a deep peace and fulfillment he had never experienced before. To regain that state that gave him a new life, he spent many years exploring and verifying. Eventually, he discovered this secret. That is to live completely in the present moment. Ancient philosophers called this state enlightenment. There is a widely spread ancient philosophical story. There was an old philosopher with profound wisdom. Because of his unique insights, people around him would go to him for advice when they were confused. One day, a young man traveled a long distance to find the old philosopher. He curiously asked what the difference in his life was before and after he grasped the true meaning of life and reached the state of enlightenment. The old philosopher calmly replied that the change was massive. He said before enlightenment, he chopped wood, carried water, and cooked every day. After enlightenment, he still chopped wood, carried water, and cooked every day. The young man was completely confused after hearing this. The old philosopher smiled slightly and said it was completely different. He said before enlightenment, when he chopped wood every day, he thought about how tired he would be carrying water later. When he carried water, he calculated what ingredients to use for cooking. When it came time to cook, his mind worried about how much wood he needed to chop tomorrow. His body was in one place, but his mind was always somewhere else. But after enlightenment, when chopping wood, his world consisted only of this axe and this piece of wood. When carrying water, he only felt the weight of the water and the pressure on his shoulders. When cooking, he focused entirely on the fire and the food. This story accurately reveals the root of the pain of us modern people. Every one of us is living that first kind of life. When we sit in the office writing a project proposal, our minds are thinking about what to eat tonight. When having dinner with family, our minds are thinking about the unfinished report for tomorrow meeting. We are always misaligned. We are always resisting the reality of this moment. Life itself is the highest level of practice. The core characteristic of a person after enlightenment is the ability to truly live in the present. Speaking of living in the present, these words have almost been ruined by various modern cultural fast foods. Many people think that eating well, drinking well, having fun, and getting drunk today is living in the present. This is absolutely a massive misunderstanding. Why is our material living standard developing as fast as a rocket now, but people's happiness index is dropping off a cliff? The reason is that we have always been seeking outward. In this era of information explosion and rampant consumerism, we are taught to constantly look for a sense of achievement from the outside world. But the cruel fact is that desire is a black hole that cannot be filled. We do not know that we already possess something countless times more precious than all external material things combined. That is our inner being. In many profound philosophical discussions, this inner being is referred to as the true self. It refers to the deepest self and the most authentic essence of a human being. It is the pure existence of a person after stripping away all social labels and external conditions. For example, someone asks who you are, and you might introduce yourself by saying your name. But this is just your code name. If you are asked to put aside this name, you might say you are the director of a large company, but this is just your profession. If one day the company goes bankrupt, or you are fired or retired, are you still you? If you continue to strip things away, you might say you are the son of your parents or the father of your children. But this is just your social and ethical relationship. If you peel away your name, your social status, your wealth numbers, and your family relationships layer by layer the final thing left that can perceive this world, that consciousness that always quietly exists, is your true self. It does not depend on any external conditions to exist. The fundamental reason why we feel so much pain, confusion, and depression in modern life is that we are too far away from our true self. We mistake those external labels and the fictional narratives in our brains for the real US. Once the labels are threatened, We feel our ego is going to be destroyed, and thus we generate massive pain. So why have we gradually forgotten to feel that peaceful, true self? Because we have been completely hijacked by our own brains. The brain was originally just a toolbox we evolved to solve survival problems. But now this toolbox has taken over and become our master. Only when our thinking is in a state of stillness will our attention be completely focused on the present moment. It is exactly in this gap of thinking that we will clearly feel the existence of the true self. If we can maintain this state of perceiving the true self, this is so-called enlightenment. At this moment, those feelings of joy, peace, spirituality, and power originating from the depths of the heart will continuously emerge. This sense of happiness is self-sufficient. It arises naturally simply because you exist in this very moment. So we must deeply realize that thinking, especially our uncontrollable compulsive thinking, is the greatest obstacle to inner peace. Those ancient people with great wisdom defined enlightenment as the end of suffering, and the root of human suffering comes exactly from the endless thinking operations of our brains. Thinking itself is not the problem. The problem is that we have lost the ability to make our brains stop thinking. Our brains are like a radio that has lost its off switch, playing noise 24 hours a day. It constantly ruminates on our past, while endlessly worrying about our future. We are torn back and forth between the two ends of the past and the future, completely reduced to slaves of our thinking. This involves a crucial concept called mind identification. So-called mind identification refers to a person being completely led by the nose by these thoughts and emotions popping out of their brain. They even believe that these thoughts are equal to themselves. Suppose there is a middle-aged man who has worked hard in his career for many years but has never gotten the promotion he wanted. Seeing high-end luxury homes everywhere in the city and peers driving luxury cars, he feels a massive sense of disparity. At this time, his thinking begins to operate. The brain will automatically generate a series of negative narratives, telling him he is too much of a failure and doing too poorly. If he does not possess the ability to be aware, he will deeply identify with these voices. To alleviate this pain, his thinking will further look for a scapegoat. He might blame his parents for not leaving a rich inheritance. He might blame his current boss for being blind. What was originally just a matter of objective reality, under the catalysis of mind identification, turns into a tragic soap opera full of a victim complex. The biggest and most destructive mistake we make is equating our brains with ourselves. When you point to your head and say, "This is me," you have fallen into a deep illusion. Actually, the real you, the you that exists as awareness, is far greater and more profound than your brain. The brain is merely an organ used to solve specific problems. But when there are no problems to solve, the brain still runs frantically out of inertia. The harmful negative thinking generated at this time will actually severely consume our life energy like a parasite. This is why sometimes you clearly lay on the sofa all day, but feel exhausted by night. Because your brain is frantically causing internal friction in the background, draining all your energy. So the most crucial step we must take toward true inner freedom is to forcefully detach ourselves from our identification with thinking. The end of compulsive thinking is the beginning of enlightenment. Once we identify with our thinking, we will involuntarily be swept away by the flood of time. We will live completely in memories of the past and expectations or fears of the future. You walk in a beautiful park, but you cannot see the green of the leaves, and you cannot hear the chirping of the birds, because your mind is traveling back and forth between the past and the future. Speaking of this, we directly touch the core of breaking the deadlock, that is living in the present and the accompanying state of presence. We must complete a thrilling jump in brain perspective. We must shift from an unconscious autopilot mode to a conscious awareness mode. Keeping presence, simply put, means cultivating a detached observer deep in your consciousness. You must watch your thoughts and emotions anytime and anywhere. You must treat yourself as a vast, boundless sky, and those emotions of anxiety, anger, and remorse are merely dark clouds drifting across the sky. Dark clouds will come and go, but the sky is always there, remaining completely still. You must know that the reason the vast majority of people are in pain is because they are under the deep effect of mind identification. Their subconscious always anchors their attention in the past or the future. When we think of the past, the brain will repeatedly rewind like playing a tragic movie. And when we cast our gaze to the future, the brain will instantly turn into a disaster warning machine. These endless hypotheses press down on the heart like massive mountains. However, we have forgotten the most fundamental truth. The past and the future are essentially unimportant. We can even say they simply do not exist. The present. Only the present is the most precious, unique, and absolutely real thing. All past events, when they happened in that specific present moment. You can also never experience a so-called future, because no matter how far away the future is, when it finally arrives, it must also present itself to you in the form of the present moment. The past has become a piece of waste paper. The future is an uncached. What we can possess and what we can feel is only this time, this place, and this moment. If you do the things of this present moment, well, a good future will naturally arrive as a result. Living in the present means keeping yourself in a state of presence at all times. In daily life, we should often examine our attention. See if that sheep of ours named attention has secretly run off to the meadow of past regret or the cliff of future fear. When you find it has gone off track, do not be angry and do not judge yourself. You only need to gently pull your attention back and refocus it on the thing right in front of you. In the past, some extremely wise Zen masters, in order to test the degree of presence of their disciples, would quietly approach a disciple from behind when they were unprepared. Then they would suddenly strike the disciple with a wooden stick. If the disciple was truly in a state of high presence at that time, he would keenly feel the flow of air and the change in energy when the master approached. But if the disciple was solidly hit by the wooden stick, it meant that he was only meditating on the surface, while his mind was actually wandering. Although we modern people do not need to experience the strike of this wooden stick. There are sticks in life. A sudden criticism from a boss or an unreasonable demand from a client are actually sticks testing our degree of presence. If you instantly fly into a rage and are swept away by emotions, you have been hit. If you can be aware of the other person's anger and the emotion rising in your own heart, yet still remain calm and respond rationally, you have successfully dodged it. In the space of presence, there is no tension and no fear. There is only pure peace. When you are in this state, you will feel that every cell in your body has been awakened at this moment. The words living in the present sound too perfect in theory, but to actually practice them in the fireworks of real life is indeed as hard as climbing to the sky. For this widespread dilemma, thousands of years of practice have already precipitated a simple, direct, and extremely effective methodology. This method is meditation, or what we often call mindfulness practice. It is actually an advanced training of attention. It is a gym for the brain. In this fast-paced modern life, you do not need to force yourself to spend hours meditating deep in the mountains every day. When you have a few minutes of free time during the day, especially when lying in bed before sleep, or the period right after you open your eyes in the morning, you can practice this technique of regaining the present anywhere and anytime. First, you can gently close your eyes and lie flat on the bed or sit comfortably in a chair. Then consciously focus your scattered attention, like a spotlight, on different parts of your body in turn. Start with your hands. Feel the temperature of your hands. Feel the pulsing of your fingertips. Then move to your feet. Feel the touch of the soles of your feet against the blanket or the floor. Then your arms, thighs, abdomen, chest, head, and so on. Try to feel the energy flow inside these parts as intensely as possible. Stay on each part for about 15 seconds. You will miraculously find that when you put all your attention on perceiving the inside of your body, those distracting thoughts in your brain all instantly disappear. Because your consciousness can only handle one main task at a time, when you choose to perceive the present, the noise of thinking is forced to mute. Besides this dedicated body scan practice, we can also turn every small thing in life into an entrance to the present. For example, when walking to and from work every day, put your attention completely on your feet. Truly pay attention to the feeling of the soles of your feet touching the ground each time. When washing your face in the morning, do not rush and think about finishing quickly. Instead, Mindfully feel the temperature of your hands being washed by. Of course, many people who are new to mindfulness will find their minds are too chaotic. At this time, you can first focus your attention on your breathing. You do not need to deliberately change the rhythm of your breathing. Just quietly observe how the air enters your lungs through your nasal cavity, and then how it is exhaled out of your body. Every time you find your mind wandering, you only need to gently say to yourself in your heart, "My mind wandered." Then pull your attention back to your breathing. This seemingly simple action of pulling back is exercising the muscle of your aware brain. And when you can safely dwell in the present for a long time, you will naturally comprehend another ultimate wisdom in this philosophical system, that is surrender. It means unconditionally accepting the present moment. The word surrender, at first glance, seems to tell us to submit to fate and give up resistance. But this is actually the biggest misunderstanding of spiritual philosophy. Surrender will not only not make us passive and cowardly, but it will actually grant us an indestructible inner strength. Surrender absolutely does not mean you passively endure any injustice that appears in your life like a punching bag. It also does not mean you stop making plans for the future from now on. True surrender is a simple yet profound wisdom of complying with the laws of the universe and the flow of life. It is keeping completely in sync rather than swimming against the current. The true meaning of surrender refers to psychologically accepting the objective reality presented by the present moment unconditionally and without reservation. What it requires us to let go of is that inner psychological resistance to the facts that have already happened in the present. The vast majority of human psychological agony is because there is a massive gap between what we expected to happen and objective reality, and we stubbornly resist this gap in our hearts. For example, when a person encounters a severe industry crisis and their career hits rock bottom, a person who does not surrender will frantically curse fate and wallow in self-pity in their mind. This is a severe, energy-consuming internal friction, but a person who knows how to surrender first calmly accepts this objective fact that has already happened and cannot be changed in their heart. Then they focus all their attention on this present moment and ask themselves the most constructive question. Under the current circumstances, what is the one most positive thing I can do right now? This kind of action, based on a clear awareness of reality, is a highly penetrating positive action. It is much more powerful and efficient than impulsive behavior driven by emotions of anger and despair. In this process, we can seize two specific opportunities for surrender. First opportunity is to surrender to the present external reality. A person must possess this psychological maturity of an adult. They need to acknowledge external objective reality without reservation. You must know that once many things happen, they are like shot arrows that absolutely cannot be changed. If a person can calmly accept reality, they have cut off the source of pain. But as ordinary people, often the external blows are simply too massive. A person truly cannot calmly accept external reality in a short time. Then it means missing this first opportunity. It does not matter. At this time, we still have a deeper second opportunity to surrender. If a person simply cannot accept those tragic external situations no matter what, then please turn inward and accept your inner situation. That is to say, when you feel extreme sadness, anger, or pain, do not resist these emotions. Instead, you must bravely face them. Allow this pain to truly exist in your body. Like an observer full of compassion, quietly observe this energy of pain wandering inside your body. When you no longer resist the pain, but completely accept the fact that you are suffering, a miracle will happen. You will be surprised to observe how this deep acceptance and surrender acts like alchemy. It instantly transforms that pain that seems about to swallow you into deep peace. When you embrace the darkness is no longer terrifying. Many people think surrender is admitting defeat to the external world. Actually, it is not. Surrender never changes the world. Surrender only changes ourselves, and once we complete the change internally, our entire world changes with it, because this so-called external world is never absolutely objective. It is only the world in our eyes. It is a holographic projection cast by our minds. When your heart changes from resistance to surrender, and from anxiety to peace, the world in your eyes naturally changes from a hostile and dangerous battlefield into a garden full of opportunity and peace. Let us consolidate these wisdoms into our cognition, The vast majority of pain in life is not imposed on us by the objective world. It originates from our overactive brain. The main culprit that causes us to stay away from our true self is mind identification. The brain is engaged in compulsive thinking all the time. Without any awareness, we unconsciously and completely identify with it, treating it as our true self. Once we fall into the trap of mind identification, we will involuntarily be torn by the illusion of time. We will live in repeated chewing of past memories and endless expectations and fears of the future. This generates negative emotions like remorse, worry, anxiety, and depression. One of the effective ways to alleviate anxiety and try to step out of pain is to live in the present. This is not superficial hedonism. It is consciously observing the present moment and being aware of the self through willpower. The present is the only thing that truly exists in the universe. It is also the only thing that can be grasped and changed. The power of living in the present lies in its ability to help us break the mind identification of the brain. It attempts to unplug the power supply of thinking operations, allowing attention to be completely focused on this moment, feeling the world and accepting reality. If you feel your mind is restless and it is hard to maintain presence immediately, start practicing with basic meditation and mindfulness. This is a scientific method to reshape the neural circuits of the brain and maintain lasting presence. Surrender is letting go of pride and resistance, unconditionally accepting all facts presented by the present moment. It will not make you lie flat and let people mock you. Instead, after unloading the psychological burden of resistance, you become pragmatic and positive. Surrender is a top-tier wisdom of staying in sync with the overall flow of life and not fighting against objective laws. Completely give up internal resistance to what is happening right now. Calmly and bravely accept the cards dealt by reality. Then, based on this, take the most efficient action to make positive changes. In this materialistic modern society, life is like an endless, crazy grasping. We always think that gaining external achievements will make us happy, but often, the more external things we gain, the more confused and fearful we become internally. We are just like that beggar sitting on the broken box. We beg outward for the approval of others. We beg for secular success. Yet we do not know that we are sitting on endless treasure right beneath us. This treasure is your inner true self. It is the peace and joy you inherently possess. As long as you are willing to stop and open that box of awareness, you will find that you lack nothing in the first place. This power of the present, this profound philosophical wisdom, indeed gives us a good prescription for returning to our original nature. But this content is absolutely not meant to be used as entertainment to just listen to and forget. It is meant to be used for real combat in life. You must practice repeatedly according to the underlying logic of mental cultivation. If you only understand the concepts literally, but still fly into a rage when encountering setbacks, your life will still be a mess. Practice is never just one specific thing. It is every single thing. Living in the present does not only require setting aside half an hour a day to meditate, and then continuing to be enslaved by emotions for the rest of the time. True awakening is treating meetings at work, the 3 meals a day in life, and even every minute of waiting in line as a training ground to cultivate the mind and practice presence. Only by integrating awareness into every breath and every movement can we most deeply experience the subtle beauty of the power of the present that gives people a new life. When you are shoved by someone on a crowded commute, your first reaction might be anger. In this moment, you can choose to be carried away by mind identification. You can curse the other person in your heart, letting this negative emotion ruin your good mood for the whole day. You can also choose to take a deep breath and maintain presence. You can be aware of this energy of anger rising in your body and then calmly watch it dissipate. When you encounter an unreasonable client at work, you can choose to resist in your heart and complain about the unfairness of fate. You can also choose to surrender to this reality that has already happened and focus your attention on how to solve the problem. This is the specific application of practice in life. Every time you choose awareness instead of an unconscious reaction, you are adding wealth to your inner treasure house. Every time you choose surrender instead of resistance, you are lightening a heavy burden for your life. When you face your aging parents, do not resist the passage of time in your heart. Do not feel impatient because they have become slow. You can choose to live in the present, mindfully feel the temperature of their hands, and cherish every moment of having dinner with them. When you face a rebellious teenage child, do not always use the pressure of future exams to frighten them. And do not feel angry because they did not meet your expectations. You can choose to surrender to the reality that they are an independent individual. Use mindful listening to understand their troubles. Use unconditional love to embrace their growth. When you face the nagging of your partner, do not immediately put up defensive spikes. You can try to be aware of the care and insecurity hidden behind this nagging. In these most ordinary and even trivial daily interactions, if you can maintain presence, you can transform a relationship full of friction into a soul connection of mutual nourishment. In the pursuit of career and wealth, living in the present is also the highest level of wisdom. When you no longer treat making money as a tool to fill your inner emptiness, when you no longer work desperately out of fear of poverty, your mindset will undergo a fundamental change. You will begin to enjoy the creative joy brought by the work itself. You will begin to focus on what real value you can provide for others. In such a state, wealth will often flow into your life as a natural byproduct. You are no longer a slave to money. You are the master of wealth. You have learned to let nature take its course after working hard. You have learned to maintain inner balance between gaining and losing. This sense of balance is a top-tier competitive advantage that no business skill can replace. When this life of ours, we actually do not need to pursue those illusory, monumental achievements. To be able to brew a cup of light tea on a quiet afternoon, watch the sunlight outside the window spill onto the table, and have no attachments or anxiety in your heart. This is the greatest blessing in life. The journey of life is not to reach a specific destination. It is to experience the scenery along the way. If you always fix your gaze on the distant future, you will miss this flower blooming right now. You will miss this gentle breeze blowing by. You will miss a warm smile from the person next to you. Please remember, no matter where you are right now, no matter what kind of hardships you are going through, you have the ability to return to the present moment at any time. You do not need to rely on any external tools. You only need to pull your attention back to your breath and back to your body. That peaceful true self is always there waiting for you. Like a kind old friend, it will never leave you. This is Zen Seeker Wu. Today we have walked a very long and very deep spiritual journey together. If you have listened patiently up to here, it means deep inside your heart you have already heard the call of awakening. This seed of wisdom has already been planted in your heart. As long as you are willing to water it with the awareness of the present moment, it will sooner or later grow into a towering tree, sheltering you from the wind and rain. If you feel today's sharing has inspired you, please make sure to like this video. Pass this peace and wisdom to more people in need. Please also subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. This way you will not miss any of our deep exchanges of thought. If you are willing to support us in creating more high-quality content, you are very welcome to join our channel membership and become a part of this warm family. In the comments section, you can write down the phrase, "Let nature take its course." Or you can share your most authentic feelings at this moment. Let us build a spiritual safe haven full of positive energy together in this noisy world. Go open that box full of gold that belongs to you. Go enjoy that peace and abundance that does not depend on any external conditions. May you always be able to find your way home in this complex world. May you always be able to dwell safely in this present moment. I will see you in the next video.